Hello. So, in my research for a topic to write my speech on, the topic of why we need to start driving electric cars really popped out to me. I was looking at the sheet you gave me, and I was looking through, and then just really caught my eye. So, by the end of the speech, I will have persuaded my audience into the idea of why we all need to start driving electric cars and why they're safer and better for the world and its future. So I'll be covering two main points. Number one being why electric cars are more environmentally friendly, and number two, why electric cars are safer in general. So, so I'll now be showing these points and the evidence I have collected on these 2 points. So the problem right now is that a gasoline-powered cars are polluting the atmosphere of the Earth and causing global warming. So a quote from a study done by John DeCiccio and Frida Fung from Environmental Defense states that in 2004, U.S. cars and light trucks emitted 314 million metric miles of carbon equivalent. That equals the amount of carbon in a coal train 50,000 miles long. And that's enough to stretch 17 times between New York and San Francisco, so across the whole United States. This affects our lives by causing 3 main issues. Long-term respiratory problems, food supply distribution, and higher chance of wildfires. And some people say that these really aren't a problem, which I don't know how they could see that. And I strongly disagree with those people because it's truly better to be safe than sorry in this scenario. And I truly don't like taking the chance of developing said respiratory problems and ending my sporting career and as an athlete. And also I'd hate to see, for example, California, as you've seen, they have had many wildfires, and it's truly been it's sad to see. And I don't want to see them suffer anymore. And so ending the greenhouse gas pollution in the air would be fantastic. So now that we've covered that about how environmentally unsafe these gasoline cars said are, let me move on to my next point of why electric cars are more generally safe. So these electric cars really make it impossible to pollute the air because, they have a battery, so it's kind of hard for them to pollute air like a normal engine would. So an article from EDF Energy states that, put simply, electric cars give us cleaner streets, making our towns and cities a better place to be for pedestrians and cyclists. In over a year, just one electric car on the road can save an average of 1.5 million grams of CO2 or carbon dioxide, whichever you prefer. That's the equivalent of 4 return flights from London to Barcelona. And that is a long way. For those who don't know, that's almost across all of Europe. A lot of people still think that gasoline cars are safer. I disagree with this very strongly because electric cars have been under much suspicion by companies, which led to extensive testing and research, and all of it points to good things. So an article done by Fleet Karma states that electric vehicles had to pass the same safety tests as gas-powered vehicles, so you can be assured that they are completely safe to operate. In fact, many electric vehicles score higher in crash test safety ratings. The Tesla Model X, for example, had a perfect score. So a lot of cars don't really get perfect scores usually, which makes the Tesla Model X such a triumph to the electric car community. Now that we have covered why electric cars are safer for the environment and why electric cars are safer, let's move on to my conclusion. So if we don't eventually switch to electric vehicles all across the world, we will eventually end our planet, making it so hot from the carbon emissions building up in the air and just causing that greenhouse gas to trap that sun heat in. An article from Sciencing states that the major threat from increased CO2, carbon dioxide once again, is the greenhouse effect. As a greenhouse gas, excessive carbon dioxide creates a cover that traps the sun's heat energy in the atmospheric bubble, warming the planet and the oceans, causing as you may have seen in the news, I don't know if you guys have, it's causing a lot of global warming, which is killing off a lot of animals in Antarctica. It's melting off their habitats and it's killing them, and they have to find new sources of food, which have died as well, and it's super sad to see, considering penguins are my favorite animal. We love penguins over here. So the CO2 from the gasoline cars, oil plants, even fossil fuel plants, which are all pretty big contributors. Gasoline cars being the major one though. So these electric cars will cut off most of the carbon dioxide production into the air from gasoline powered cars, and our world would see much improvement very quickly. So wrapping things up, we have explained why electric cars are better for the environment, and also talked about why electric cars are safer in general. If our world doesn't start to move towards these electric cars, I would hate to see my children and grandchildren suffer from the greenhouse effect and develop sad respiratory problems, having issues with food supply, all these different things that it's so bad to see. They'll have a higher chance of these side effects greater than we will, because obviously the greenhouse effect will keep building up. So thank you so much for listening today, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day for those who are listening.